What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brent, and today I received a comment on one of my last videos where I talked about my favorite 3-light setup for Highkey fashion, and the comment went like this. Hey Brent, could you do a 2-light video fashion look where, let's say you have two 8600s and maybe you run into the issue where one of your 8600s dies and all you have left is an 8200. What would you do in that scenario in regards to light ratios and things of that nature? So I figured, why not take it a step further and see what can lights 300 watts or less really do? How much can they produce and what are they really capable of? Because I do own an 8200 Pro. So today I'm going to do 3 different lighting setups, a 1-light, 2-light, and a 3-light with all lights 300 watts or less, so we can answer the question, is 300 watts enough? I have Emily in the studio with me today. Huge shout out. You know Emily, she's been here 10 million thousand times. We are excited to get into this content, so let's hop right in. All right, so the first lighting setup that I want to show using just the 8200 is going to be my all-time favorite. We are going to go bare bulb flash. I have this bare bulb flash set up right in front of Emily, and I have it on a C-stand as well as a boom arm. That way I have plenty of space to move forward and backward, shoot my close-ups, shoot my wide shots, and not really have the C-stand in the shot too much. Again, bare bulb is gonna give us nice, crisp, hard shadows. It is going to allow very hard light to fall onto the face and really chisel out all of the features that Emily has. I currently have this light set to 1/2 power plus 0.2, so it isn't pushed to full power just yet, and I'm shooting at f5.6. So the last time that I did this lighting setup and I shot with a 8600, I shot at f5.6. We're going to keep our shutter speed at 1/250th, and I'm still going to keep my ISO at 100 for the cleanest ISO possible. This is what 200 watts can do. So now I'm gonna get into some test shots utilizing just this setup so I can show you how versatile the 8200 Pro really is. All right, Em, we're gonna do a few test shots with just the bare bulb. First 3, I want you to be looking at me, probably do about 5 to 7 shots, and then we'll do a few where you're just kind of moving around so they can see what the lighting setup does. All right, let's start off with eyes straight to me. I'm gonna go medium, 3, 2, nice, 3, 2, nice, come back for a wide. And as you all can see, the reason why we have boomed this, 3, 2, is so that there is space for me to take these wide shots and she not be cut off by any C-stands or anything like that. Let's do a few shots where you're just kind of freestyling a little bit. I want to do some wides and some mediums just so they can see how much coverage you can get with just this one setup. All right, freedom of movement, 3, 2, nice, come wide, 3, 2, love, me coming closer. It's perfect, 3, 2, bring your eyes to me, 3, 2, love, 3, 2, yep, do a few mediums, 3, 2, yep, 3, 2. Let me get some profile action, so give me, you like this side, so give me the better side, yep. And then fix your strap on that side. All right, 3, 2, nice, 3, 2, a few close ones, 3, 2, and last one, 3, 2. So what you'll see is we're getting our standard, normal bare bulb flash look. Hard light, crisp shadows. When you have just a regular white backdrop, you have your model, and you just want to throw up that 8200 Pro because maybe that's all you have, you can 100% get a high-key lighting look with just the 1 light. But I did tell y'all that I was going to give you 2-light and 3-light setups, so now we're going to get into, maybe you have a few more lights, a few more dollars that you want to spend. Let's get into adding more lights into the fold. So the first light that we are going to add in for the 2-light setup is actually going to be a Godox MS300. The reason why I'm using the 300 as the key light as opposed to the 200 is because this is a very budget option and it's super affordable. Comes with AC power, it's great for in studio, but it does not go any lower than 1/64th. That can be a little bit of an issue when you're trying to drop 1, 2, even 3 stops below your key light. So it is better to just have this light as the key light because the 8200 Pro does go down to 1/256. So I can get that bad boy as low as I need it to, depending on what aperture I'm going to be using. I am not going to be changing my settings at all. We are going to stick with f5.6, ISO is going to stay at 100, and we are going to continue shooting at a 1/250th shutter speed. Now I'm going to get into a couple test shots here with the Rembrandt lighting position. I'm going to keep my white balance at the flash setting, and let's just see what this one single light can do with 300 watts. All right, Em, so we're gonna just shoot with our key light for now, just the Rembrandt light position. First 3 shots, you're gonna be looking at me. We're gonna do 5 shots total. I'm gonna kind of move around just a little bit so they can see exactly what the light is doing. Let's start off looking straight at me, like a medium. 3, 2, nice, we'll come close. 3, 2, nice, and do wide. Cool, 3, 2, nice. Let me get one where you're looking this way. Yep, toward our light, sweet. 3, 2, nice. Now let me get one where you're looking in the opposite direction. Yeah, 3, 2, nice. And what we're gonna notice here is that we have that cool, perfect Rembrandt position where we have a nice shadow on the right side of Emily's face. And as she turns away from the light, of course, we get that super darkness and we get those shadows. That is going to be rectified when we start to add in our other light pieces. But this is where you wanna start off. This is what you wanna see first. Nice hard light carving out those features and the dark shadow on the other side. This is where we are starting. These are 5 shots, different little focal lengths, so you can kind of see what the shadow is doing as we get wider and you do that Rembrandt position. But now let's bring in another light because we did say that we want to do a high key fashion look. Let's bring in our 8200, see what that bad boy can do. Now we are all very familiar with the cross lighting setup as I've done it a million times on this channel. So the second light that we are going to be adding in is our 8200 Pro. This is the version 1. I'm not cool, I don't have the version 2. And I did add the Bowens mount adapter. This is where I can slide the 8200 in, kind of lock it down, and it allows me to use Bowens mount modifiers because those are the main modifiers that I use. And unfortunately, the 8200 does not have a proprietary mounting system, no mini Bowens, no anything like that. So I did opt to add in the Bowens mount, and we have on a strip box with diffusion as well as a grid. And you have to understand that when you add on diffusion as well as a grid, it is going to take away some stops of light as opposed to if you were just using the bare bulb. So with that in mind, we have kept it 1 stop behind or below our key light. So our key light is metered to f5.6, and our fill light or our rim light, edge light is metered to f4. And this is still not even being pushed to full power. So we haven't even gotten into tapping into the extreme lengths that this 8200 can go. This is an extremely capable light. And I have this kind of pointed toward like the back right shoulder of Emily. I kind of like to line up the middle of my strip box with like the middle of my subject's back, like between the shoulder blades. I feel like for me, that gives me the best kind of balance for my cross lighting. And that's just kind of like where I like to sit in that setup. So this is going to be our second light in the setup. Again, it is metered to f4, not changing my settings, shooting at f5.6, ISO 100, and our shutter speed will stay at 1/250th. So let's hop into some test shots with just these 2 lights. All right, so now we're going to do test shots with both our key and our edge light on. I'm probably going to have you do some profile stuff just so we can kind of see what that edge light is doing. But again, the first 3 shots, you're just going to be looking at me. Let's slide over ever so slightly. Yep. And then back up a touch. Perfect. I'm going to start with medium. 3, 2. Nice. 3, 2. Nice, nice noise. I'm going to go wide here. Yep. You're good. 3, 2. And let's go ahead and get into that profile. So you'll stand profile this way. Yep. And then, yes, ma'am, just like that. And then just give me some shape to the body. 3, 2. Now keep that same shape, but just take that gaze forward. Yep. 3, 2. Nice. And now that we've added in our 8200, we've kind of added in that edge light. All that's going to do is bring up the values on her shoulder and then a little bit on her hair. So what it's allowing us to do is have a little bit more movement. So now she can kind of go into that profile position. You can see a little bit more light hitting that right side of her face. And again, we lined up that center part of our edge light to about where her scaps are, right in the middle of her back. The reason being, so we get a little bit of wrap on the shoulder, but it's not going too crazy to where it's taking away everything that our Rembrandt light just did. This is what a second light can do. And power-wise, we are, for our A light, we are at 1/8.6. So this one is metered to 5.6. Boom, right here, Rembrandt. It's only at 1/8 power, plus 0.6. And like I said, I have that audible refresh on so that I know exactly when that light is ready to go. For our B light, we're only at 1/4 0.4. So we haven't even pushed this to a half or full power. So if you needed to, if you were in a bind and you needed to shoot at f8, you could do so. And we have also not even touched our ISO. We haven't even had to bring in more ambience from the camera. We've still been able to shoot at the cleanest ISO possible. So even before we've added in a third light, these two lights are doing immaculate work. But we did say we wanted to do a high key look. So we do need to add in that third light. And that's what we're gonna do now. Y'all had to know this was coming. This is the third light in our high key fashion setup. It is another Godox MS300, and it is going to be shooting straight into this white wall. This is our global fill. I am using a reflector, so that way we are getting the most bang for our buck. And I do have this at half power. So I have turned on the audible refresh noise. That way I know when this light has refreshed and I can take another shot. One of the things that I've run into in the past when I'm using a global fill, because it is such a touch of light and it's only lifting the overall levels and values, sometimes it can be difficult to tell when you get home which shots misfired and which shots didn't, because again, this is going to be metered at 2 stops under my key light. So it's metered at f2.8 because I'm just trying to illuminate a little bit more of my backdrop and a little bit more of my subject to make this a high key look. So again, this is what 3 lights can do under 300 watts. We haven't used anything to full power yet, and we are going to show you, play around a little bit with this setup, just so you can see how versatile these lights can be when all used together and at a very budget price. Let's get into these test shots. All right, now we get to have a little bit of fun. So again, 5 test shots. We're going to be having all 3 lights on, but we're going to do 10 shots this time because the last 5 we're going to try to find some nice little fashion looks, okay? So let's slide over this way ever so slightly. Yep, back up just a touch. And remember guys, we are still same settings, f5.6, ISO 100, and our shutter speed is 1/250th. So I'm gonna start with a nice medium shot. Yep, 3, 2, nice. I'm gonna go nice and close. 3, 2, get a wide. 3, 2. Let's do profile. Yeah, let's do the same profile, same direction. Yep. And just give me a little bit of shape to the body. Perfect. Yep. Stay right there. I'm gonna go medium with this one. 3, 2. And then this time I'll do a wide version of the profile. 3, 2. All right, now let's play around for 5. So just kind of, actually, you just watch for a click and just give me poses you want to give me. Okay. Slide over ever so slightly. Yep. Right there is good. Starting off medium, perfect. 3, 2, nice. One a little higher up, yep. 3, 2, nice. 3, 2. Come in close. 3, 2. Give me a wide, so give me something with them legs. Give me some shape, yep, nice and powerful. Love that. 2. Let's do 2 more here wide. I love this. 3, 2. One more. 3, 2. All right, I know y'all hear all that beeping. There's a lot of beeping going on. I have a beep going on with the MS300 in the back. I got a beep going on with the MS300 in the front. That is really helping me to find my cadence. It's allowing me to know when all of my lights are refreshed and ready to go. Now, when you go with something like the Pro Series, the 8200 Pro, it's gonna refresh a lot faster than the budget lights. That's why the price is the price. So I'm really relying on these two to kind of tell me when they're ready to go, because if you just get to popping off too fast, you're gonna end up with a ton of photos that they're not usable, they're not good, and I personally believe that it's very good practice to sometimes take a breath, shoot a little slower, and get the right shots, right? We're shooting in studio, so everything is controlled, so there's no reason to rush. The sun's not gonna run away from us. We don't have to worry about any of those things. So that's what those beeps are. But the set in general, the all 3 lights, now you see, we can get the same exact high key fashion look, hard light, without having to use anything over 300 watts. So the question is 200 watts enough? I think it's more than enough. Power settings, we are still at 1/8 plus a 1/6. I didn't have to take that down at all. We are still at 1/4 plus 0.4, and our global fill is at a half power. So the fact that that's at a half power is a big reason why I wanted to have that sound on so that I can hear when it refreshed, because I don't tend to shoot at half power very often at all. I try to choose an aperture to where I don't have to push past like 1/4 and a half. But when you use lower wattage lights, you are gonna have to do that, and it's no problem at all. You could get this whole setup for probably the price of an 8600 Pro too. So that's what these 3 lights can do when all put together. This is the setup that I would opt for if I was gonna do this under 300 watts. So ask yourself, comment down below, do you think that 200 watts is enough? All right, everyone, that's gonna do it for another video. That was 3 different lighting setups, all using lights that are either 300 watts or less. I want you to comment down below which lighting setup you would use if you only had access to a couple 300 watt lights or maybe some 200 watt lights. What did I miss? What's a lighting setup that you would like to see me explain or even try out, something that you haven't seen me do on the channel yet, but you would like to see me give an attempt to break it down, see if it works, either in studio. It could also be on location as well. I do a ton of shooting in different types of set spaces, maybe like a loft, homes type scenario. Whatever it is that you want to see, let me know, drop a comment down below. And was this helpful? Do you all find the Master Studio Lighting series to be helpful? Because this is something that I want to put a ton of effort into and maintain this series for the duration of this channel. That playlist is just going to continue growing and growing. I want to give a huge shout out to Emily for coming through today. Emily, where can the people find you? I know they know where to find you already, but where can the new people find you?
Instagram, EMXLYY_, and I think that's it. Yeah.
I'm gonna put that down here just in case she doesn't even know where to find you. That way you can spell it correctly. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you all in the next video.
Bye.